I sincerely hope that you had a truly good and relaxing weekend. So we are back here again for this in-depth analysis on the current state of cryptocurrencies. So we'll start with Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin still hasn't managed to decisively break through that significant resistance level. It still hasn't broken the top. In 1 hour and 15 minutes, we finished this correction, this potential correction that we talked about in the last video. In the last video, we said we were waiting for it to come back, to give a bar like it did here, to validate a running flat. That's what we said in the last video. And so now it came back to test the trend on the 3-4 hour time frame. There you go, this beautiful bullish trend. It came back to test it, and now it's not far from breaking the top. The significant 123,000. So at this particular point in time, I genuinely believe that we are going to decisively break through the very top, and I am of the opinion that it is merely providing us with a temporary correction at this juncture. That is precisely what is happening here. But the ultimate and overarching goal is to successfully come back and recover fully, to break the top directly, or else we're setting ourselves up for a much bigger correction, meaning we will likely have a considerable range in this particular area. So here we could potentially have had an initial first move from this point here to that point there. We will then get a B wave to form a much bigger flat of 2 hours, 3 hours before coming back to break the top. So actually, what would invalidate this upward move? Actually, as long as they're ranging in this area, it's also what would indicate a short-term bearish trend to me. Really, if it drops hard, if it breaks the last low. And so here, it corrects here, so that's where it would be a sell. For now, that's not the case at all. So for me, it's still bullish. So here, as I said, maybe I'm looking for a small flat here, so a 3-wave move here, before it comes back to break this top, or else a bigger correction. This particular move we had in 3 distinct waves, that's clearly an A here, then a B, and finally a C, as I previously mentioned earlier in our discussion. And so here, that's actually the A of the B. So that's the A, B, and C of it, really, in a nutshell. C, so that would be a future running. So we would actually have this significant move here, 1, 2, 3, with this particular B here acting as an internal wave, a very important internal wave, to always come back and break the top. We saw that if it's a running, it's an uptrend with each high higher than the previous one. That's it. So that's it for Bitcoin for now. Now let's take a closer look at the cryptocurrency Ethereum. So Ethereum has directly broken the top on the 1 hour chart. There is significant momentum in this particular move as it has successfully broken through its previous high point, indicating a strong upward trend. It broke through the $4,000 level. There's momentum. I don't really see any divergence. We knew it was going up. Let's take a comprehensive look at the current weekly chart, specifically observing this particular point, which is positioned at the significant level of 4,600. There you have it. We are clearly and steadily on our way for a continued progression and further development. Yes, this flat pattern, I had already drawn it a long time ago. But now, if it clearly breaks the top, we'll be heading into a running pattern. It means the price will break the top and then we'll finally get a retracement. So that's for later. For me, that's it. That's how it is. That's all. We didn't really get a buy actually. If I had a few small ones, it was for the internal move. But here there was this retracement. It didn't even come to test 50% of its first move. Also, we can't really consider this a running pattern. The amplitude of A here is much greater than C here. So for me, this isn't really a running pattern. We're going to carefully draw a trend line just like this right here. So consequently, there aren't really any obvious or readily apparent entry points here at this particular location. Actually, there aren't really any entry points. For now, maybe it will give us a running pattern here internally. Since we had this drop here, that's a B, a C. And here we could potentially have an interesting entry point. But we'll see how it plays out. I'll make a video for you tomorrow. We'll keep following it. I'll give you updates every day. I invite you to subscribe to the channel and comment with an asset if you want me to give you an analysis on that asset. So I'll see you next time and have a good evening.